Happy Homebrew Weekly, folks. Ryan here. I don't have any beers to drink right now, but just want to get you a video because I haven't posted in a while, and I'm finally giving you the ImmersionPro video, the BrewJacket ImmersionPro. It's kind of a test run. This is just me wanting to make sure I knew how to use it correctly, which I actually kind of already used it incorrectly on 2 batches of beer, but this video, I'm just cooling and heating water. I believe I put the tilt in too to compare. I can't remember if I did that or not. You'll see if I did. But as far as the using incorrectly part, so when you use the BrewJacket, your fermenters will need a special lid. If your fermenter uses a lid, use a carboy, like a plastic carboy. You can't use glass. Plastic carboy. You need to drill a hole in it for the blow off, but just show you this. This is my Monster lid, and actually I bought these special lids to have this extra hole drilled out because I didn't want to do it because I was afraid I would screw it up somehow. But when I first did my brew, so this black piece goes in here, and you hook a blow off tube up to this. I didn't think it fit, and the problem was because I tried to fit it in there with this already in it. And I did 2 brews this way. And what happens is the rod for the ImmersionPro wants to slide down into the carboy. Well, with this sitting up, the head unit, the part that actually does all the work, would rest on this and would kind of sit sideways in there, kind of weird. But it ends up, if you just sit here and work this in here, you know, you got to kind of strong arm it. It will eventually go in there and fit right, and then this piece will fit in there. So if you do decide to get one of these, which Adventures in Home Brewing, at the time of posting this, still has it for $150. So I would say go get it if you like it. You know, it is a little extra work, but if you don't have room for another fridge or whatever, or you don't want to spend the money on a glycol chiller, it's really not that bad of a deal. So get that in there, and then you got to kind of strong arm this piece in there too. But it will go in there. You just have to work it. So anyway, I'm not going to mess with that anymore. I already did it with another lid, which is up there. But anyway, here's a test video. Like I said, I've used this twice now with 2 beers, and it worked. The tilt and the temperature probe that you tape to the outside were within a degree of each other. Sometimes, it's even like 0.3 of a degree. So check it out. Hey guys, so I'm here at the dryer with the insulated jacket that comes with the BrewJacket ImmersionPro. First thing you want to do is, when you get it, is take the insulation out of the box, or out of the bag, I'm sorry. And then put it in the dryer on medium heat for 30 minutes. That will cause it to kind of expand so that it'll insulate a lot better. So that, it keeps your beer cooler or warmer, wherever it has to do. Keeps temperature more stable, I guess. Alright, so we got our insulation back out of the dryer. It's pretty simple. It's just round piece of insulation, and I didn't even realize this before, but the bottom, it's like cotton or wool or something. So not like fiberglass, but it even has a bottom on it, which I was kind of worried about that when I was thinking about it. But instructions say just put it back in the bag. And I'm guessing the bottom is zipped up, in case you didn't notice that before. It was already unzipped when it came in the mail, probably to make it a little more obvious on how to get the insulation out. So we're going to be able to stuff that back in. Let's see, make sure the bottom's still at the bottom. Alright, so I think we got that. plenty of space for a little fermenter in there. Alright, so there we go. Got everything pushed in. I have it here, fermenter over here. So, alright. Pull it up. For Monster fits good. Nice and tight. See if you can, there you go. Just tighten this rope on there and it's all insulated. That should work out pretty slick. Okay, yeah. Probably the biggest problem is finding space for all this. Next, I'll have to do a little test, see if maybe get some warm water in there and try to cool it down, and then maybe cold water. I don't know. Maybe I won't go that far, but right now the problem we're facing is it's too cold. My groundwater, it's January. My groundwater is really cold. So when even the last time I brewed, I think it was middle of December, I had to have the valve on my grainfather pump wide open. Usually I gotta turn it down, otherwise it won't get cool enough. It won't cool the wort down enough. But in this case I had it wide open and it was still too cold. I could have probably just turned down the water, but I didn't. But so maybe we'll try to go with just cold water and see just how long it takes for this to warm it up. And then, yeah, we'll do that first. I think that would be pretty impressive if it could heat it up. And maybe at some point, I don't really want to try warm water because it's already cold down there. If I was going warm to cold, I think I need to try this out in the summer. But maybe in a later video we'll do that when it gets actually warm outside, which is really where I want to use this, right? Is in the summertime. Hey guys, we're back. I just have a fermenter here full of water. Honestly, I didn't check how much water is in it. It's probably about 5 gallons. Maybe a little more or less, give or take. So this is a Monster fermenter. You don't have to use these. BrewJacket supports other fermenters. This is just what I have. And you can get lids, although they're harder to find, that have the extra hole drilled in for the blow off. I'm actually going to just use for this test the one that comes with it. The Monster. The one that comes with the Monster, just because I don't have a seal. This may end up being a really bad idea, but I don't want bugs just crawling in here, and I didn't sanitize anything, so I don't know if mold's gonna grow. I may not put it on very tight, the lid on very tight, just so some air can get out. I don't want to try heating this up and then, well, it's not gonna get that hot. I don't want to blow up my fermenter, so it would be a really big mess. So let's go ahead and get this on. Here's the rod that goes inside. You need to be fairly careful with that. And I did get some painter's tape just to tape the thermometer probe to the outside. If you have a thermal well, you could probably drill another hole in this lid to feed the thermometer probe down it, but I don't have that, so we're just gonna go with this. Here's some of what comes in the box. You have this little adapter guy that if you had the other hole in here, you'd pop this guy in and your blow-off assembly would come off of it. You do get a rod sleeve, 2 rod sleeves, for if you want to do sour fermentations, or if you want to sanitize the rod with Star San or any sort of oxygen sanitizer. Since we're not going to be fermenting, I'm not too worried about blow-offs. So this is just tap water out of our tap. I'm pretty sure it's fairly neutral, so I'm not too worried about it eating away at the coating on the rod. So we got our number 10 bung that's actually specially made for the rod to fit in. Got my thermometer probe here. I just have to be fairly careful with this. I do have the instructions, although those instructions don't tell me anything. But I think it's pretty straightforward. So this may get moved upstairs, which is okay. So we're gonna slide that in there. That's probably okay. In fact, there's a little room for this to go down more, so we're going to squeeze it down just a little more. Nice and snug. Screw this guy on. You're supposed to be very careful about the threads. Weird. I'm still probably going to put it in the closet. Shh. Maybe we'll have it cracked open or something. Probably should have put this in the bag first. Make sure everything's dry. In. And then the probe is supposed to be taped. I don't have a thermal well in the top quarter of the liquid is. Also was going to put my tilt in here, but I kind of forgot. So we're going to have to wing this as it is. Okay guys, I got it plugged in. You can actually hear it running, it's kind of noisy. Right now it thinks it's 73.1 degrees Fahrenheit. I checked the tilt, and the tilt says the water's at 73, so probe's not off by too much. 10th of a degree, I'll take it. And I had it set to 55. I thought, you know what, let's try to go pretty cold. I know getting down to 60 in this closet isn't too hard. You know, with all this insulation, it may take a bit longer. So hopefully this will leave it up to the tilt. I'm going to leave this door open all night, so we'll see what happens in the morning. My understanding is the first 10 degrees is about 1 degree per hour. So, see, right now it's about 10 o'clock. So I expect when I wake up that it'll be, you guys are laughing at me now. I'm not doing the math in my head fast enough. 65. Probably not 65, 64. And then I'll check it again at lunch and we'll see where it's at. Alright, we are about 9 hours after we started. You see we're at 66.2 there. When I first came down it was about 66 and a half. I should have my phone with me. The tilt says it's 66 right now, so it is getting cooler. It is taking a while from the initial 73. Part of me wonders, well, you know, how much is that just because of the ambient temperature it was much lower. It was about 66 all night, so I don't know if it's really done anything yet. So we'll keep going. We'll check it out in a few hours, and we'll see where it's at. Alright, sorry for the background noise, but as you can see here, ambient temperature is 69 degrees. We're going to go over here to our BrewJacket in the messy closet here, and we are 63.8, so we're still going down in temperature. It is working. It is technically working. We'll have to check again in a few hours, see where we're at. I have it set to 55 right now, I believe. I may let it run until, I don't know, probably when the kids come home I might have to shut it off because I'll have to close this closet door. But I'm probably going to have to start fermenting in other rooms in the house. That means lugging the fermenter upstairs. But alright, we'll check back. Alright, so we're about 18 hours now. And we're at 61, so temperature's going down. Our ambient temp is probably 69 still, so it is cooling it down. I would say it's pretty effective at bringing temps down. It is slow. You know, my ambient temp did change too overnight. It went from 66, 69, so that does probably change the speed at which temperature can go down. I'm going to let it run a little bit longer. I'm going to probably end up closing the door to see if it just keeps going. I don't know how much further it's going to actually be able to go. I have it set to 55. I don't know if I'd be able to lager with this thing, but maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see how it does with heating things up or just holding a temp, you know, like 68 degrees. So, alright. Cheers. Alright everybody, how's it going? So right now we are at 54.8 degrees with our probably ambient temp about 68, 69. We did hit the 55 sometime in the middle of the night. And I turned it down more because I was like, well, let's see if we can get it in cooler. But that puts us in the 10 to 20 degrees below ambient temperature range, which dramatically slows down. I think it's about 1/4 of a degree to 1/2 a degree per hour to cool down any further. That being said, I think this is a viable option for lagering. It's going to be slow getting there. And I believe there's yeast that you can kind of start out a little warm on the ale side and, you know, get them cooled down more, or you know, find another way to get your wort cooled down and use this to maintain it. I don't know. At some point I'm going to try it. Probably best to do this in the wintertime when it is cooler, but you know, if you have good air conditioning, it's probably fine too. I'd kind of like to turn this thing up to say 75 and see how that works. Mind you though, it wouldn't be a very good test. I probably won't record it because you know, it's going to take forever because now we're going from 55. However, ambient is up. Maybe it goes a lot faster. But I think it's only supposed to go a degree an hour anyway. So I'm probably going to do that, but I'm not going to record it. So I'm just going to get some final thoughts. It works. The system works. BrewJacket, ImmersionPro. It works. You can keep your beer cool. You know, in most cases, I'm going to need 68 degrees. And it's probably going to keep it at 68 degrees. The reason I'm going to go try and just turn it up so it has to heat, because I just want to see it heat things up too, in case I want to do like use Kevik yeast or something. Which, if it doesn't heat up all that well, I do have a heat belt, and I have a temperature controller for the heat belt now, so I could just use that to give it a little extra boost. But I'm going to see how it works. But I don't think you guys need to see that, because it's going to take forever. It's probably be days, and I actually may just give up before then. Who knows? So, if you're looking for a way to keep your beer cool, maintain temperature, I think BrewJacket is a viable option, especially right now if you can get it for $150 as opposed to the $300 it normally is. I will give a warning. I'm still have concerns that they're not making them anymore, but yeah, BrewJacket wouldn't admit to that. They just said that Adventures in Homebrewing is now doing all their distribution. I'm not entirely convinced of that. Also, if let's say you have a fermenter, and you order the special lid as opposed to just drilling the second hole out for your lid, Adventures in Homebrewing does not send you the O-ring for the lid. So make sure you order a couple extra of those. I would not order them on Amazon. They're about 3 times more than if you just went through Adventures in Homebrewing. I ended up buying a Brewer's Best kit to go with my O-ring order just because of shipping costs. So I got a few O-rings and a beer kit, so I got free shipping. So otherwise, without the beer kit, it was going to be like $10 shipping, which seems stupid to put some little pieces of rubber in an envelope and mail them. But, you know, whatever. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next time. Cheers. Just one final thought. I said that I thought this would be a very viable option for lagering. I need to clarify that if you are going to ferment a lager yeast, you could do the fermentation at the appropriate temperature. But I don't think that an actual lagering stage will be possible. When I used this with one of my beers, I decided to try to cold crash the beer just to see if the ImmersionPro could get that cold. And the best I could do was 43 degrees in a room that's about 68 to 70 normally. So, you know, it wasn't quite cold enough to even get do the cold crash. And I really didn't need to do the cold crash. It was purely to test this. But maybe, you know, I put a blanket up around the top of the jacket, you know, below the head unit, because the head unit needs to be ventilated. And I did gain another degree, and that's how I hit that 43. But maybe now that I got my lids set up correctly with the blow off, that maybe it'll sit in there right, and maybe I can get a couple more degrees. They advertise 25 to 35 degrees above or below ambient. I did hit 25, but not much more than that. So keep that in mind if you're looking to lager. Sorry about all the computer noise. This may not be an option for you.